to the Ourlads Depth Charts Show. I'm your host, Ryan McKee, and joining me today are two of the best in the business. It's the Prince of Punters, Cory Henke, and the Duke of Depth Charts, Tucker Moss. Today, we've got a packed show for you. We're diving into the latest buzz around players missing mandatory minicamps, how these absences might shake up roster spots, the latest depth chart changes from the week, and much, much more. So stay tuned because you don't want to miss a second of all this analysis. Guys, how are you doing?
Tucker, how you doing?
I'm just lovely. How are you, Cory?
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know if I'm doing lovely, but I'm having a good day, Tucker. Thank you for asking.
All right. Look at that. Look at that excitement coming from both the Prince of Punters and the Duke of Depth Charts. Ready to rock this show. We are going to start off with Tucker telling us what are the biggest depth chart changes from around the league in the last week, Tucker?
Sure, yeah. So this week, today we had a couple. DeAndre Carter signed with the Bears. He's our return specialist, wide receiver. So he's probably going to compete with Velus Jones and Dante Pettis for like the Bears return spots.
Okay.
I know they're kind of shaky there on the punt return front at least. So, and then especially with new kick return rules. So I think he'll probably knock one of those guys off, if not both. So that's a notable one today.
And how many roster moves, depth chart moves were there for the whole week last week? And how many teams made moves?
There was 37 moves, I think.
37 moves, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if I could say how many teams made moves, but I mean, I feel like most of them did.
Yeah.
The Jaguars had the most moves.
Of those 37, how many do we care about? I mean, at Ourlads, we care about every depth chart move. I understand, right. But for the Ourlads show, we only talk about certain depth chart moves.
Yes, there's a couple other ones that were notable. Like yesterday, there was a Giants. The Giants signed Trey Herndon, who is he's been on the Jaguars since 2017, and he's been like their nickel slot corner for the last couple of years. So that was kind of an interesting pickup by the Giants because they already have like several guys fighting for that slot position. So it could knock off like Darnay Holmes or something like that. Like when they're bringing in guys, maybe they're just not happy with how Darnay Holmes is doing, or maybe they're going to move Trey Herndon to be more outside again, like he was earlier in his career. So I'm not really sure yet. Because obviously we haven't seen him practice, but that was something they've been trying to bring in a veteran, I know, and so it made sense that they got someone like him.
Yeah, wow, that is exciting. You're right.
And the other news too, which was expected, is that Darren Waller retired for the Giants.
That's right. That's right. And oh man, I forgot to grab the clip of him doing his music video. Darn it! Sorry guys, I said I would do that.
What is pre-show planning really worth if we don't get that video clip? You know?
I know, Cory. That is on me. Ding me, this guy right here, the host and producer. And so, I just got so many balls up in the air that sometimes I drop one. So my bad. Darren Waller is retiring to pursue a music career. He's already released a music video. So I don't know. What do you think of his music, Tucker?
No comment.
No comment. Have you listened to any of his music, Cory?
No, I haven't.
No comment. You should listen to it with your sons and report back whether they like it or not.
Yeah,
it's kind of in that auto-tune Drake mode. Do your sons like that kind of stuff?
You know what? There's really no rhyme or reason why they like what they like. Like we're listening to Perfume. And what's crazy is you search YouTube for Perfume and then you get served advertising about Perfume. And I think it's funny. So what is the name of Darren's song? I want to show it some respect.
I don't know. If you Google Darren Waller music video, let's see. It is called Who Knew bracket Her Perspective end bracket or end parenthesis. Who knew her perspective? I don't know. So, yeah, there you go.
She did. That's what's up. She knew it.
Hey yo, he was the one that cheated. But in the music video, the woman stabs him in the back. So I don't know.
It's a really complex.
There's a story there. We just don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on that you kind of have to read into it.
It sounds like a Hollywood movie. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a hero and a villain, and then they're going to serve it with irony by stabbing her in the back. Now I'm hooked. Hooked.
She's stabbing him in the back.
That's okay.
I don't know. Yeah,
these songs have been done. I guess it's like he in the car and burning his house down. Now we're stabbing people in the back. Just violence continues.
But at least it's just on video and it's not real. Andre Rison really got his house burned down.
Yeah, he did.
So that really happened. That wasn't part of a music video. That really happened.
This isn't something they recorded that actually happened, Cory. This was like a fun,
this was a music video, yeah.
Does art depict life or does life depict art?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cory has sometimes problems differentiating reality from music videos. So
That's
we have to just check him on that.
You should see me dance. Anyways,
what else do we have on the depth chart changes, or is there anything else we need to talk about, Tucker, before we move on to our newsworthy items of the week?
I guess one other thing I wanted to mention, Mercedes Lewis, dude. He's played.
He's still in it.
He's played it's his 19th season. He's back again for the Bears.
Wow.
He's rolling on 19s.
That's insane. Like,
how old is he now?
40.
He's 40. Wow.
He's 40.
That is really old for a tight end.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because they get banged up, man. So
he was expected to retire like 5 years ago. I mean, it was like after they left the Jags, but he just keeps going.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Still trucking. I mean, I remember starting playing fantasy football when I was younger and like drafting him as and that was forever ago when I started playing.
I got into football and he was like one of the Jags top guys. And
who is the oldest on roster right now on the 93?
On the Bears, or do you mean
on any team right now?
I think there's like a 41-year-old, like a punter or something. Maybe.
But isn't Aaron Rodgers 41? We're gonna talk about him later.
Aaron Rodgers is older. Yeah,
that's a good question. We need the Stump Tucker sound effect right here.
He
doesn't know it off the top of his head.
He turns 41. He's also 40.
I got some depth chart questions, transaction questions, Tucker. Can I ask you one?
Go for it.
In the last week, what was the most transacted position?
Do you know this, or are you just like asking? Can I just make this up, or?
Well, I mean, you can guess. I
think there was a good amount of receivers.
Yeah, you'd be correct.
That makes sense, just because every team has like 13 receivers on their.
I was trying to figure out why that was. Is that, they used to call kickers, they'd bring them in and call them camp legs, you just sit there and hammer balls all day. And I started thinking, I was like, man, maybe that's what's going on with the receivers. They're just running these guys on 9 routes all day long, and then there's like, you're tired, bring the next guy in.
Yeah.
17 sound like a lot.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's just such an important position now, and they just trying to see anybody who can stick, especially with the new like kickoff returns, stuff like that. Guys on special teams. So there's just a lot. There's a lot of roster spots open for those guys, so you can kind of make it in a variety of ways. I mean, at running back, it's like there's only 3 to 4 at most. No one keeps 5 ever.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. All right. Other questions, Cory?
How many teams made transactions this week?
I think I already asked him that, and he didn't know.
I didn't have that info.
21.
21.
Yeah.
I said most of them, so I guess I got. I guess I got that.
You'd be right. I mean, you'd be right.
Jags. The Jags was a weird. I mean, there was a weird thing. They claimed there was a center, Jack Anderson, for the Colts that got waived, and then they claimed him like a couple days ago, and then waived him the day after. And I was figuring it was like a failed physical or something, but that wasn't like a part of the designation. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if they just didn't hit it off, but I've never seen someone get picked up by a new team and cut in a day. Like it's pretty without like an injury,
happens.
Yeah.
It's got to be a physical or an injury thing, I would think. Unless he just walked in and called somebody's mom
That's what I'm thinking.
A negative word that I won't say on the Ourlads Depth Chart Show. But
they call him on the phone. Are you sorry about what you said? Yes, completely sorry. They get in the room. He says it again. He's like, you know what?
And then they're like, all right, you're cut. Same day, cut. All right. Any other questions, Cory, or should we move on?
Move on.
Let's move on to our first news item. Niners running back Christian McCaffrey will appear on the Madden NFL 25. And we thought this was relevant to depth charts because we just wanted to talk a little bit about how the Madden depth charts work. And Tucker has been a Madden player in the rest, and the Madden will set the depth charts, but only for a certain level, right, of updated rosters, because they want you to keep buying the new game, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but if you wanted to, you could use Ourlads Depth Charts to update your old depth charts on your older games on Madden.
Yeah, it'd still be a bit of work, but it's like, yeah, I know I saw some guy on YouTube making videos about importing the Ourlads ones, but yeah, it's just that like it's kind of Madden's just based off of like their whatever they the score they give players, like their rating. So it doesn't necessarily matter what like is in real life. So if you want to make it more realistic, then you should adjust like the ratings of players and like match it to the depth chart how it actually is.
Oh, look at that! If you're a true football fan, take Ourlads Depth Charts, match the rating of your players on Madden to what our depth charts are, and then play. See how they play then.
Yeah, because sometimes there's inconsistent, like they have someone rated higher who doesn't play, then it's like there's a lot of kind of weird stuff like that. So I would like to see that. I should work on that actually.
There you go. The Tucker will have a whole side channel where he just does Madden updates with Ourlads Depth Charts. All right, well we'll keep an eye out for that. Any thoughts on Madden, Cory?
My son's really heavy into it. I'm slowly getting it. I never was much of a Madden player. My roommates in college were very good at Madden. I not so much. I do know we like to take off the injury button so none of the players get hurt. But no, I don't game too much. Unfortunately, don't got enough time.
I will say I think I called that it was going to be McCaffrey, didn't I? Or was that Brady who did, your son?
Yeah, Brady thought it'd be McCaffrey. I mean, he deserves it. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
And it's the first running back in 17 years, I think they said, or 18 years to appear on the cover. The last running back was
really? That's crazy.
Yeah, the last one was Adrian Peterson, and Barry Sanders appeared on Madden 25 for the 25th anniversary one, not the Madden 25, the year 25. So
I feel like to me like Derrick Henry is would be a great one, but it's like I don't really know if there's any time left. I just feel like there should have been the Madden with him on it too. But McCaffrey, I feel is deserved.
He feels like a Madden player.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have Amari Cooper, who is seeking a new contract. He's absent from Brown's mandatory minicamp. Thought we should just mention this and also mention Cory if people were to go to the Ourlads Depth Chart Browns page to check out their latest depth charts, what else would they see?
Well, we've got the Browns OBR report coming to you with all the Browns' top insider information. The group over there does a great job of leading insights into what the Browns team or the dog pound is up to. And that's on the bottom of the Browns depth chart found on Ourlads.
Awesome. So Amari Cooper seeking a new contract. What does this mean for the Browns wide receiver depth chart room, or does it mean anything, Tucker?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's just, a contract negotiation strategy. But that being said, he's kind of like their only. I mean, they got Judy, but he hasn't really lived up to his what people thought he would be so far.
Right.
Maybe it'll help being on a new team. But Amari is really like, the top tier guy. Behind that is like Elijah Moore, who also hasn't been like great. And then they have a lot of young guys, Cedric Tillman from last year, and then they drafted Jamari Thrash this year in the 5th. So
Okay.
they have some guys, but it's just a lot of kind of young, unproven guys behind Amari and then Judy. So if like Amari,
they need to get Amari's contract done.
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's like the equivalent of like if CD was like holding out for like the Cowboys. It's like they don't have anybody else there.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Jerry Judy, and his former team is the next up on our list, the Denver Broncos. Cortland Sutton has ended his holdout from mandatory minicamp, but he's still seeking a new contract. But he is going to minicamp now. How likely is he to get a contract, Tucker? I feel like, is there a world where the Broncos move on from him?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. Like, I think receivers, I feel like he's someone who they would bring back, but maybe it's possible that he demands more than they think he's worth. You never really know. We don't really know like what he's demanding or what his agent's demanding in terms of the contract number. And since receivers are so expensive right now, I understand holding out. I mean, I think it makes sense because like you just saw Justin Jefferson and Amon Ra get insane money. So now you're like, all right, well, I want at least,
I want insane money now. Yeah.
So yeah, he seemed pretty disgruntled in the interview he had, but I'm sure the agent's working on it. But like, I feel like if they're kind of similar too, is they don't really have anybody behind him that's a proven two yet. Like Mims is really exciting, but
he's still only his second year and didn't do much his rookie year.
Exactly. I mean, I'm excited for him too. And then like Troy Franklin, and I mean, if Tim Patrick comes back from the double major injuries the last 2 years, but I feel like he's someone they definitely will try to get back because you kind of just need several good receivers, and he's kind of been their guy for years now. And not having Russell Wilson on the books anymore will help for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, they're still paying Russell Wilson though, but is that?
I mean, like going
number.
Yeah, I mean, like going in the future.
Right.
I think the bulk of it is this year, and there might be some next year. I'm not positive, but this would be more. They can structure it in a way where it hits later on.
All right. Well, our last news item is another mandatory minicamp holdout. Alvin Kamara skipped the Saints' final minicamp practice Thursday. What is believed to be for contract-related reasons. He was seen leaving the facility in street clothes before the workout. So I don't know. What does this mean here? I mean, who do the Saints have behind Alvin Kamara at running back right now on the depth chart?
Yeah, so behind him, I mean, so Jamal Williams came in last year, and he was kind of disappointing, not nearly as like efficient as he was on the Lions the year prior. And then he only ended up getting one touchdown at the end when he led the league in touchdowns, I believe, the year before.
Right.
And then their third round pick, Kendre Miller, he seems really like talented though. I feel like if Kamara was gone, it'd be like Miller and then Jamal Williams spells him, So I don't know exactly how the snaps will be distributed, but I feel like they're sort of shifting towards Miller as like their guy.
I really like Miller for fantasy this season. I think he could be, if you're drafting soon before, news of him moving up in the depth chart ranks, you might want to grab him later in drafts, just as someone who could, if this Alvin Kamara contract dispute doesn't work out. Yeah.
And I know like it's because there hasn't been much progress with the contract talks. It's why he didn't show up. I believe that's what reporters are saying, because he's like effectively in the last year of his deal with the way it's structured. I believe there's an out after this year, so it could be that they just move on, after this year. And I know they have cap issues all the time. So with all like the very 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 much an older roster. So I could definitely see them trying to sort of go younger at that position.
Well, Draft Sharks has taken a bullish position on Miller. They have him ranked higher than Kamara.
Who?
Miller. They have him rated higher than Alvin.
Who does?
Draft Sharks does.
Oh, Draft Sharks. I missed that. Okay. They have him ranked higher. Really? I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
How much higher?
Oh, they just think he's going to get more carries. They have him, it's pretty split, but they just have him. Actually, you know what? I just lied to us all. I read the numbers upside down. A little dyslexic. They have him. They have Alvin higher.
Okay.
That would have been quite a twist, though.
Yeah. Well, I know what I was
twist.
thinking. I'm like, why do they have him ranked above him? Oh, their 5-year projection is higher.
I was gonna say. I feel like if we're, who would you rather have one of them? I feel like you'd rather have Miller right now if you were like an NFL
for the
GM.
draft capital. Yeah, for the draft capital. Or would I rather have Miller if I was a NFL coach or if I'm in fantasy?
If you're an NFL coach, I mean, like I feel like you kind of want the next several years secure with a younger guy.
Yeah,
Kamara's 28. He's kind of been slowing down the last few years, and then this contract dispute. I feel like it's not out of the question that you go with Miller.
I would agree. So grab Miller now, guys, if you are in fantasy. Okay, we got to move on with our show. We're trying to do tighter shows now, and I got a quick ad read. Cory, first of all, do you have your plans set for Flag Day yet? It's tomorrow.
No, I don't.
Well, attention all patriots. This Flag Day, give Old Glory the celebration it deserves. Deck your house, your dog, your wife, even your neighbor's lawn gnome. Get a flag out there. Let's wave those stars and stripes like they're VIPs at rock concerts. Celebrate with pride and remember, flags are for life, not just Flag Day. How many flags do you have in your house, Cory?
We have two flags.
There you go. That's more than a lot of. Tucker, how many flags do you have?
I don't have any flags. I'm still young,
What are you gonna do on Flag Day? It's tomorrow.
I might have to do 1-day shipping here from Amazon.
Fun fact about me, guys: 97 flags in my house.
Wow,
is that true? Are these like puny flags?
These are 97 full-size flags. That's right.
That's impressive.
It's impressive. All right, moving on. We are going to first talk about the Chiefs depth chart because Travis Kelce came out and said he wants to play until, quote, the wheels fall off, and he is ready for a heavy workload in 2024. Quote, wear and tear me, baby. So that was the quote that made it to the top of Reddit, right, Tucker?
Yeah. They're having fun with that one.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it could be like a weird Taylor Swift song. Wear and tear me, baby. I mean, I'm not good at singing, but we could work on it. So Travis Kelce, here's the thing. So the Chiefs did draft Jared Wiley in the 4th round. He was a former quarterback who moved to tight end during college from TCU, and people are already starting to call him Baby Kelce. Now, I don't know how close to Kelce he really is, but I think it's just because they drafted him on the Chiefs. But it is interesting to see that they did draft a tight end who can catch the ball. He's not just like a blocking tight end, right, Tucker?
Yeah, right. I think it was a position it made sense to get because they only like Noah Gray they like a lot, and he's been good there. They only brought in Irv Smith, who's been sort of disappointing so far in his career and gotten injured. And then behind them are just two like undrafted guys. So I like that they're bringing in Jared Wiley because Kelce had down year last year, but yeah, he's getting older, I don't know if we can say that he'll play as long as Mercedes Lewis does. So no disrespect, or, I'm just saying Mercedes Lewis, he's the GOAT. So
yeah,
in terms of playing time. But yeah, I like that because last year they actually used a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets because of like their issues with their receiver core. They're
going to probably have issues with their receiver core again this year with Rashee Rice. We still don't know how long he's going to be suspended.
Yeah, it'll be some amount of time. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not going to guess, but because it's just random what they choose.
And we already know that they don't like playing Kadarius Toney.
That's right. That's right. They brought back Nicole Hardman like last week. It's kind of hard to figure out where they like. I know Nico Remigio, they like him a lot actually. I have him third right now, but he could easily move up ahead of Toney. I keep putting Toney in the second string because they just like won't give up on him. I mean, like last year it was like, oh, they're gonna move on from Toney, and they just every week kept trying to roll him out there. So I don't know. I just feel like it's mainly gonna be Worthy and Hollywood Brown, and then Justin Watson is that guy who's gonna probably come in as the third starter if I had to guess when Rice is not
playing. Think Justin Watson will be in the Rice position during his suspension, or the Sky Moore?
Yeah, it'll probably be like Hollywood or Xavier Worthy moved to the slot. Justin Watson will be one of the outside spots.
Got it. All right. And then how much? And there was one. Who were we talking about? But was it Blake Bell or something like that they had last year as a tight end, and he's still a free agent?
Yeah, Blake Bell they've had for a while. He's more of a blocker, but he's kind of been their third guy for quite a while now.
They moved on from him and brought in Irv Smith, right?
Mm-hmm. They could still bring him back. Like he hasn't been signed by anybody else. But them drafting Jared Wiley kind of makes it a little bit tighter competition here, because if they're only gonna, if they're gonna keep Irv Smith, then they're not gonna carry 5 probably. That's not very common. So, yeah, I don't really think it's that likely that they bring him back, but certainly possible. But I'm excited for Jared Wiley because of how well he did at TCU.
Mm-hmm. Are the Chiefs still going to St. Joseph? Are you going to be able to give us sideline reporting this fall?
I'm going to try my best. Yeah, they always do their training camp in St. Joseph, so trying to get me doxxed here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure people are just watching for any chance to dox you, Tucker.
I'm gonna get swatted now.
Yeah. Well, we do have some viewers, so who knows who's watching. Any other questions on or any questions on the depth chart, Cory or Tucker? Anything else you want to bring up before we move on?
That's all I got.
That's all you got,
Cory?
No, I'm ready to go to the next one. Keep her moving.
All right, we're gonna move on to the Jets because it was reported that Aaron Rodgers and Hassan Reddick, but mostly we want to talk about Aaron Rodgers, is missing Jets mandatory minicamp, and the absences are, quote, unexcused. And then Chase Daniel from out of nowhere comes over the top rope and tweets, wait until you hear where Aaron Rodgers is instead of with his teammates. That's an expensive absence. And so people are just tweeting on that. So many responses. I'm guessing where he is. Where do you think he is, Cory and Tucker?
I think he's probably in the mountains somewhere, getting some mindfulness and mental focus, ready to come up for the season with the new offensive line. I think he's really coming together how to feng shui them or to voodoo magic them together. That's what I think he's doing.
Okay. Where do you think he is, Tucker?
I think that's a good guess. I mean, yeah, I feel like he's probably in the most remote area where there's nothing. Just he wants people to speculate what he's doing, and he doesn't want to be found. So I don't know.
He's got to be remote. I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers playing for the New York Jets, and nobody's got a picture of him with his shirt off on a catamaran or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I kind of wonder what his go-to places to go.
He's probably back in Wisconsin, just hiding. He's like, this is the last place people will think I'm at.
No one recognizes him there.
He's at the Packers stadium. Nobody will look for him there.
Yeah.
Those are all good guesses. So here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be turning 41 years old this season, right, Tucker? And everybody just has him penciled in as coming back and leading the Jets to the playoffs this season. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers, an injury risk, and also just a personal risk, right? Like he seems like he's just interested in other things beyond football, which, hey, we at Ourlads support 100%. You know, if he wants to do an ayahuasca retreat, that is great on him, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's right for football anymore. So what are we thinking? Tyrod Taylor, is he going to end up playing this season? How many games do you have him starting, Tucker?
I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, they don't want to start him any games, probably. Hopefully, just
they wouldn't.
Final week when they rest their starters because they're undefeated. But yeah, I mean, if Rodgers gets hurt again, or that's certainly in the cards. It's certainly possible. I don't think that he's just a veteran kind of guy to bring in that you kind of just have to give you a fighting chance. I mean, I feel like I'd be interested to see how he does, but I think the world would rather see Rodgers go out there and try to lead this team.
You think the world would rather see Aaron Rodgers over?
It's a bold claim, I know.
Tyrod Taylor? Oh wow, what really way to go out of the branch there, Tucker.
Tyrod Taylor's not starting a game unless things are bad.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I don't know. What do you think, Cory? Aaron Rodgers, is he going to play the whole season?
Boy, that's a tough ask for someone that's 41 years old playing with a new offensive line. I mean, they definitely seemingly shored it up this year, brought in some big time talented players, at least in the past. I don't know. I feel like the other thing I was going to say is maybe he's getting ready for his political campaign political career this year.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That'd be out of left field. But I would think he would, I just don't want to bet against Aaron Rodgers, especially when he feels like people are questioning his personal time and how he handles his business. I mean, to me, unfortunately, if he was a 41-year-old vet with his resume in any other position, they would probably allow him to be gone. But unfortunately, he's receiving a lot of criticism, and unfortunately, probably rightfully so, right? I mean, he's the quarterback of
he should be there.
That's changed over. I went back and looked at the rosters from last year, and I stopped counting how many new names were on the roster. So you would certainly like to see him there, but I don't want to make too much out of this with 93 players on the team. It's a lot of activity, getting a lot of people reps, but I think it is our
job right now at this point in the season to make a lot about this, Cory. That's what this show is about.
Well, that's kind of my opinion. I mean, if I was his teammate, I'd kind of be like, hey man, we could really use your leadership in here. He's a strong-minded person. You really don't hear much negative about Aaron Rodgers in the locker room. It seems like most people enjoy playing with him. Mm-hmm. And he's a performer. I know as a fan, I want to see him spin it. I find it hard to find anyone that can throw it like he can. And, going back to the Super Bowl with his drive against the Steelers, I mean, he invented the back shoulder throw, in my opinion, And so I'd like to see what he could do again, especially hopefully he's going to come out with the mindset of with a chip on his shoulder. Because last year, I don't think I've experienced such a pin in anticipation as much as watching him go down that third or second play of the season. That really deflated me. I was like, wow, that happened quick,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, he should be there because his the person staying in his guest house, Malachi Corley, is there. And so they could commute together. I don't know what he's doing.
Right now.
Yeah. So it's too bad. It's too bad. But yeah, something to think about. Yeah, don't necessarily write Aaron Rodgers in for the whole season in permanent marker. He's already starting to have issues with not showing up to minicamp, and we still don't know why.
I will say they did draft a quarterback in the 5th, Jordan Travis.
Yes,
out of Florida State. I think they had like a really high grade on him, like a 3rd round or higher. That's why they took him. And I feel like he's probably currently he would definitely be the favorite to be like their future guy. But obviously we kind of need to see more still because it's just a 5th round pick. It's not like Michael Penix where it's taken obviously as the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else on the Jets, or should we close out this show? It was a great show, guys.
I think we're good.
Cory, you got anything?
Well, I think it not only the Aaron Rodgers saga going on there, but Reddick as well. With the
I forgot about that. That's a good thing to mention.
I just think that's crazy. How he gets traded to the team. You'd like to think that they talked beforehand, like, hey, we're going to get your contract, or hey, I want to be there if this happens. And then all of a sudden there's this holdout. It doesn't really look that great for the Jets, organization as a whole. I just don't get why Joe Douglas didn't have it taken care of prior to him showing up, because now you got drama on the offense and drama on the defense. But maybe this is just normal June behavior, I guess.
Yeah, normal Jets stuff. Jets are in the line of fire for all the media.
I don't know exactly what happened, but it seems like he's kind of gone back and forth. Like, he told them one thing and now he's going back on it. But I can't say that for certain. I've just heard things like where it's sort of weird because or the Jets did it. I mean, one side is kind of obviously going back on whatever they promised. So, but if he's not there, their edge room is like pretty weak, which is strange to say because it's been so deep the last few years. Especially last year, because they traded away John Franklin Myers, and he was kind of their interior. He could be their versatile guy. They moved to defensive tackle or defensive end, and then Reddick replaced Bryce Huff basically as an upgrade. But if Reddick wasn't playing, it's just down to Jermaine Johnson, who's really good. Will McDonald didn't get to play much last year, but they like him. And then Michael Clemens was really good in 22, but in 23 he was disappointing. They just brought in Takk McKinley today, but I think it's just to have another body there. So, yeah, it would not be good if Reddick was holding out into the season.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, great show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us at the Ourlads Depth Charts Show. We're here every Thursday. Still locking down what time we'll be here every Thursday, but yeah, just check the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you know when our live streams are coming. We will lock in a more consistent time soon. And thank you, Duke of Depth Charts and Prince of Punters, for joining me. And Cory, happy Father's Day coming up. And Tucker, happy Flag Day. So we've all got stuff to celebrate right now. All right. Well, thanks so much. We'll see you guys next week.